Are you wondering what is the most effective way to set up your STAAR Reading Boot Camp? In this video, I will go over a 4-week outline and schedule on how to help your students review and prepare for their upcoming STAAR Reading Test. Angela here from Custom Classroom. I want to remind you that I'm not affiliated with TEA or STAAR. These are my ideas as a Texas educator and test prep writer. If you teach elementary, middle school, or high school, this video is for you. If you can, try to give your students at least 4 weeks to review important skills before the big day. Here is a 4-week outline that can help you save time planning. Let's begin with the daily plan. First, you'll start with a warm up, then review vocabulary, begin your activity, and then wrap up the class. Each day will start with a short warm up. This is a short text with only a few questions to get students beginning to think about reading. After checking the warm up, introduce 3 to 5 vocabulary words. I like to look at old STAR release tests and pull out words like clarify that I think my students might not fully understand. Go over the meaning so they can better understand what the test is asking. Then you will have the activity for the day. This may be a practice test, stations, partner work, or a game. I will outline these in detail in the 4-week plan. The wrap up portion of the class is a quick check in at the end of class. This can be answered in your class journal. It could be academic, like what does main idea mean? But it also could be and should be an emotional check in. For example, you could ask something like, how are you feeling about the STAR test? What is your best strength in reading? Or how can you feel more confident about the test? So each day in the 4 weeks will follow this daily routine. But now I will explain how to plan each day in the 4 weeks. If you want a copy of the 4-week outline, click the link in the description below. Week 1, on Monday, begin with a practice test, fairly short, to complete with a partner. Working with a partner can help students ease into testing mode in a less intimidating way. It also leads to great discussions about questions. Tuesday, review the test with a test strategy and graph your answers or results. Working through the test using a strategy that you taught to your students will help your students break the test down into smaller parts, find commonalities among questions, and see where they might have made a mistake. If you are looking for a reading strategy, I have a free STAR reading strategy. Check it out in my TPT store. I also made a free video that explains how to use this strategy with your students. After you work through the test, have your students analyze their answers. You can use a blank graph or a star chart labeled with the TEKS. This is a great way to see at a glance areas of strength and areas for reteaching. You will need this data next week in your planning. Wednesday and Thursday will be stations. The first week of stations should target the most commonly tested TEKS. Here are the top 4 TEKS by grade level. Pick 4 TEKS to focus on in your stations, like inference, text evidence, summarizing, and context clues. Then pull activities, task cards, or worksheets on each of these TEKS. Put the activity at 4 different tables. Break your students into 4 groups and set a timer. When the timer is up, groups rotate to the next station. Continue until all students have gone through each station. Stations give you an amazing opportunity to walk around and work with individual students as needed. Now, Friday, as a whole class, you'll play a game. Take a practice test and cut up the questions or use materials provided by your school, but turn it into a fun game to help give your students the needed boost after a week of test prep. You could pair the questions with a board game or games from home like Jenga, or play one of my three favorites, the unfair game, 1, 2, 3 show, or basketball. If you are in need of ideas, I've got a video for you where I explain how to play in detail my top three test prep games. Now that you've survived the first week, it gets much easier. Week 2 will follow a very similar outline as week 1. Monday is a practice test with a partner. Tuesday, you will review the test and graph the results. Wednesday and Thursday will be stations. This is where it will be a little bit different. Using your data from the practice test in week 1, plan 4 to 6 stations that cover the most needed TEKs from your students' test results. So the model of how you run the station will remain the same, but the actual activities will change to match the new TEKs that you would like to cover this week. Then end the week on Friday with another whole class game. Week 3 will continue in a similar format. Monday, give another practice test. This time, students will complete the test independently. On Tuesday, review the test and graph the results. Wednesday and Thursday will again be more stations. These will be different from weeks 1 and weeks 2. Using your data from the practice test in week 2, plan 4 to 6 stations that cover the most needed TEKs for your students. Then end the week on Friday with a different game. Week 4 will end in a similar format. Monday's practice test will be longer this time. Students will need to complete it independently, and you may have to give students more than one class to complete. Then, when they are finished, or on Tuesday, review the test and graph the results. On Wednesday, group students in partners to work so they can discuss all 4 tests. Have the students work with their partner to explain and discuss 6 to 8 questions that they missed. Make sure to have them go back and find text evidence and try to see if they can figure out how they got tricked or why they were incorrect. This is an important test taking skill. Thursday will be another round of stations. Plan 8 to 10 TEKs you would like to focus on. Then let students pick the ones that they will work through based on their results. They will not have time to do all the stations, so they need to target ones that are most important to their success. You can also use this time to pull groups to reteach concepts. Then end the week on Friday with a fun game. All right, you made it through your STAAR Reading Boot Camp. If you want a free copy of the 4-week plan, click the link in the description below. If you want me to do all the work, grab one of my pre-made STAAR Boot Camp bundles. Good luck.